Deaf and Dumb. I'm Dan.
I'm Dudley.
I can go longer than that.
I don't believe it.
You don't believe it? That was me cutting, so I was like, this is long enough.
Yeah, it was.
Only reason I went that long because Dudley's not here to be mad at me.
Oh, okay. Well.
Welcome to the show. As you can see, Dudley looks different.
Yes.
Turning to a dad does that to you.
Yeah. I see the world through new eyes. I really want to clean up this town. I want to get out there and make a difference. And I think as the commissioner of the police squadron, I'm in a unique position to make that happen. We're going to get drugs out of our community.
Okay, that's good. That seems like a good thing.
It's a jumping off spot
Welcome to Deaf and Dumb, the show where normally it's for the last 167 weeks and episodes. It's me and my brother Dudley, the Deaf and Dumb brothers, and he's having a baby. Yeah, had a baby, and so he's not here.
Not getting a lot of sleep.
It's not getting a lot of sleep.
Baby.
That's what he's doing.
3-day-old baby.
Yeah, and so Trey, our good friend and friend of the show, regular listener, but you've been on before.
Yes,
before we had video, so people don't.
I'm not deaf, but I am pretty dumb.
So you meet some of the criteria.
Yeah.
Are you really good at talking about things you don't know that much about, and should provide more detail, but you don't know?
I'm really good at talking about things I do know about, and I'm more than happy to listen to you ramble on whatever it is that you ramble.
That's all I require, really. Dudley kind of cuts in more than I like.
Well, this is your episode to shine, man.
I know. Well, it's weird to think about because this may be the only episode Dudley ever listens to.
Because he's deaf?
Yeah. Well, no, because I don't listen to this show. Oh. He doesn't listen to this show.
All right, yeah.
We don't listen to. This is our show. I can't. And maybe I should because I never remember what we talk about. I'm certain there have been weeks, one week right after the other, where we cover some of the same materials because we forgot we talked about it already. But I don't listen to it. I don't like listening to myself. And I already did it, so why should I listen to it? Anyway, I look at it when I'm editing it, and, as much as that counts. But, so Dudley, since he's not here, because he's off being dad, and he's probably going to have some time on his hand, he might listen to this one.
Okay.
So, we should do anything possible that might annoy him.
Oh, wow. Well, you're already doing it. You did that 3-minute yell.
Oh, yeah. I could have gone long. I have not pushed how far I can go on that. I always cut it off because Dudley gets annoyed at me, or, I'm like, okay, this is enough.
You got the breath control.
I do. I used to play baritone, so I got some lungs.
That low brass.
Yeah, I got them. Yeah, so I got some lung capacity. I have never. One day we will do an experiment to see how long I can actually go before it breaks, but probably not today.
Okay.
Unless we just run out of time, and then we want to.
Yeah, sure.
But I've already worn it a little bit, so now I'm making excuses.
If we're exactly 3 minutes from the end, you can just yell for 3 minutes.
Yeah, I could just yell for 3 minutes.
Can you do circular breathing?
Circular breathing?
Yeah.
Is that where you
That's where you're still going out but bringing it in through another.
I've never tried.
Some singers can do that. Some horn players can do
that. I don't know if I can do that. I don't think I can do that. I don't think I can think in a way that lets me do that. Dudley can do weird things, like he can make his scalp move. I can't do that. Even though we're twins.
I can do that.
Yeah?
I can whistle and hum at the same time. And
whistle and hum?
Weird.
Yeah.
It sounds like Plan 9 from outer space type of alien ship.
Oh, yeah? You want to do it for us?
Yeah.
You have no practice, but yeah. Ooh! That's cool. Oh. Oh, yeah, it's almost like, not quite theremin level, but close. Yeah. I like it.
My own little mouth theremin.
Theramouth. Yes, the Theramouth. That's Trey the Theramouth. I forgot what we were talking about. Yeah, so, we're twins, but we can't do all the same things. He can do this thing, his whole scalp just wiggles. And I have no idea, I don't have those muscles. I don't know what he's doing.
He's probably actually, wiggling his ears.
Yeah, but his ears don't move. It's just this whole scalp. It bothers me. It is alarming. It makes me think he's an alien. I can do the eyebrow raise on either side, but other than that, that's the full extent of control back there. Skills. Dudley's sitting there listening to this right now in the future going, talk about games. We're supposed to talk about games.
Okay, let's talk
about games. You've been playing anything this week? Well, I mean, you haven't been on the show in a while. It's been a few months.
True.
So anything you've played in the last 3 years is fair game.
Let's
we'll
see. So
catch the listener on
the last PlayStation 4 games, because that's the console I have. The last PlayStation 4 games, going backwards, I played is my son got me an extremely cheap used copy of No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
And so I played that for a while.
Yeah, it's good.
And then before that, I was playing through Fallout 4. And I know that I'm consistently late to the game on all of my games because I wait for them to go on sale. I have never paid $60 for a AAA title. Never. I pay $20. I wait till it gets down to 20. If other consoles come and go, that's fine. These games are still new to me.
Yeah,
and they're still, you're
the bargain game.
Yeah, and the great thing about it is that if there is like a weird glitch or a bug or something, it's already documented.
It's already been fixed.
Everyone knows about
it.
There's
been updates.
Yeah,
and...
so I'm like, I shouldn't quick save right here because that will make the game crash. I'll wait till later and quick save, and then it's fine. So I go into games knowing maybe there's a lot of spoilers and stuff out there. So the plots. That's not the reason I play games. I play games for this. Well, stories are great, but I really get into just the interesting mechanics of things.
I'm all about mechanics, so I'm also all about good stories. It's funny. Every once in a while I go back, and especially since we started doing this show, I go back to some stuff, but I'm constantly... This is a weird side effect of doing a gaming podcast on a weekly basis, is that I'm constantly looking for something fresh to talk about. So I'm always grabbing new things, which I find I don't finish some stuff anymore. Right. I tend to play a bunch of it and then kind of move on unless it just really hooks me. And then I feel bad about it. Like right now, I have Sekiro. The new the samurai, ninja Dark Souls game from Software, and I like it a lot, and I love those games, but I just have not found the time to play it, and so it's on my back burner, so to speak. But I'm going to get into it at some point.
You gotta wait. You gotta wait 5 years.
You're talking about Fallout 4.
Right, check this out.
And I've finished that game 4 times.
Have gotten my entire $9 worth out of No Man's Sky.
Yeah. I paid full price.
I paid $9 for it. And they made all the updates. I get all the same updates.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
I
get the same game that people paid $60 for, and it's totally worth $9.
When No Man's Sky is the example, you did the wise thing. Because I bought it, I paid full price when it came out, where it wasn't the game it is now. Yeah. And I didn't buy it. If you go back and listen to the show where I talk about it, I didn't really read up on the hype. I thought, that looks cool, I will buy it, I play it. I do that, I just go on. When it's out, I'll play it. I don't need more. It looks cool. And then I start playing, I'm like, this is fine. I don't know if it's worth how much I paid for it. But, and then, everyone else was really angry about that game. And then, it's been out a couple of years, and they've added a lot of stuff that they've added all the stuff that they promised that would be there.
Well, not everything that they
not everything, but a lot of the stuff that people were
working
expecting.
in the same office when it came out.
Yeah,
and I think I showed it to you actually because I saw some articles about it. And
maybe
a lot of the stuff that I found fascinating about it that they were talking about having in just mechanics wise, and I don't know how they would have delivered on this promise, but they were talking about how there was orbital mechanics changing the length of days and nights on different planets and stuff like that, and it's just, but every time you land on a planet, days and nights are the same length. Yeah, shadows move left to right, and then they loop back and move left to right, just like your standard skybox first person shooter. I don't know how they would have procedurally generated things like that. So
I don't know without it going bonkers.
It's still really impressive how they did it.
Oh yeah,
right? And it makes it feel much more like that sort of 1970s pulp paperback cover sci-fi, which is a real aesthetic. I like that. So. And
you showed it to me, and I don't remember any of that stuff, but I remember going, "Ooh, this looks cool. Yeah. I like it. It's pretty."
I played it for about 3 weeks, and I haven't played it in probably a month and a half. Or so. But
I enjoy it. I enjoyed it at the time for what it was. And then the more I was like, the amount of money I spent on it, I was just like, I'm kind of annoyed. This was like not half that amount because I think it was $60 when it came out.
Yeah,
I can't remember. It was like 60 and I paid the full price, and I'm like, this is like a $30 game right now, maybe max. Now I could argue it's worth the money I spent on it, but
a lot of people would argue that it's still not worth $60.
Oh yeah, I don't know if it's worth $60, but that's what I paid for it, and. But I've been playing. We played earlier in the week. We talked about this last week. We played Imperial Settlers. It's a card game where everyone's been playing an empire. So there's like Rome and Egypt and I can't remember. There's some barbarians. And then the whole thing is you have a common deck, and then each faction has their own faction empire deck, and you're drawing cards, and you're building each one's a building basically, and they give you abilities and stuff, and it's a little engine builder combo-y empire building thing to get and you're gaining victory points.
Thematically a little like Seven Wonders, or mechanically like Seven Wonders.
No, not really. I mean, it's in the sense that they're empires and they're cards, yes, but there's less. You have like
what's it close to? What's something I've played that it's close to?
It's not really like. I don't know. It's very different, and that's why I think I've been struggling with it, because I played it probably a little more than a half a dozen times, and every time Gary wins, except for this week. But I complained about it last week that Gary keeps kicking our ass at it.
Gary wins everything.
Yeah, and Gary doesn't win a lot of things, but it seems to make me angry when he wins every time. And we played this week, and Dudley won, which was, and I still did terrible. Even though I was doing much better at the game mechanics and comboing and stuff, what I think happens is, because the whole game is that you're building common cards on one side of your board, and you're building your faction cards on the other side of the board. The common cards can be raided and attacked by other players and destroyed, but they're worth 1 victory point each at the end of the game, while your faction cards are worth 2, but they can't be destroyed. Unless you're Japan, they can have theirs destroyed because they have special rules. But, so, the game has a trap to me, because it sets up these other cards that generate victory points by spending resources to use an action on them to gain victory points. And it seemed to me that seemed like if you have one that generates 3 victory points every time you use it, and like for this example, the last game I played, I had a card that generated 3 victory points, and then I had 2 cards that were part of my faction that allowed me to basically reset that card. Normally you can only use an action on a card once per round. Well, this lets me reset it. And each one lets me do it twice, so I could reset a card 4 times and use it over and over again. So I thought, well, that's 12 points at a time. Well, no, it's actually 15 because you do it the first time and then you reset it 4 times. So, and I was like, that's a bunch of points. And I thought, this seems like a viable combo, like a way I can build this engine to just crank out points. And it's a trap because it doesn't. I mean, you will generate points, and I kept up with the second place person, but I never passed them. I was just like keeping up with them, and every time I got a little ahead, they were generating just as many points with less resource, and it comes into a resource economy thing. And it really turns out that
you saying all of that sounds a lot like the way Dominion can work if you don't know the cards.
It's kind of like that, and that's, I think, part of the problem is like it helps to understand what you have in your deck, but you don't have to, because you can have you really just like you have what you're getting in your hand, and that's it, and you just keep drawing. And it like any of these kind of games, you have to draw lots of cards. And I kept thinking, this is another way to play this. You don't have to do it this way, but that's wrong. It honestly feels like the best strategy in that game is getting as many cards in your hand as possible, because there's no hand limit. Yep. It's just drawing as cards. At the early game, it's just getting as many cards as you can out of your deck and the common deck. And then once you do it, and it's just getting as many cards down as possible. And that seemed like the strategy to win, because I started off doing well, and then I built this engine I thought would get me out ahead, and it doesn't work. Yep. And it kept me caught up with them. But by the end, they had so many cards down that I couldn't win. So I think the flaw is me. I don't play the game the way I'm supposed to. And even though it's a great game, and it kind of frustrates me, because the last 2 games I've played it, I've gotten down to the end, and basically I'm like, I'm just running this engine I built, and I can already see, I can do the math. There's no way I win. Like, I'm going to sit here for the next round, and I'm not going to be able to win. And that gets a little annoying. So I think I'm just playing it wrong. But I'm also, there's the Atlanteans is one of the expansion factions or empires. And I hear they play differently. And so I'm wondering, maybe I should play them because maybe they'll actually... Or maybe I should just play it the way they're supposed to play it. I don't know. No. But maybe because I get into these mechanics and I think, oh, I can play, this is a viable way to do it. And it's always a trap. It never pays out. Yeah.
I mean, because like on one hand you said, oh, you just grab your cards and you can go off of what your cards are. Yeah. But if you didn't know that it's just too difficult to make that happen. Yeah,
exactly. That's what I'm falling into. It's like, and it bothers me. And I think part of it is just because maybe I didn't learn the game the way I was supposed to, or I just keep coming at it at a weird way, thinking, oh, I can come at this in more than one way, and there really isn't. You need to play it the right way. And
that's kind of a trap that a lot of card games fall into.
Exactly.
Though, is that if you got 4 people that all pick up the game at the exact same time and start playing it, then everyone's kind of gaining the knowledge at the same time. But if you walk into a room with 3 other people who have been playing it for months, then
that's why I never got into Netrunner, because all the guys other than you and I were kind of at the same level. Time, but if I played with the other 4 guys I knew who've been playing it pretty much since it came out, I couldn't play. Like I literally, unless one of them was sitting there coaching me against the other one, there was no way I was ever going to win or keep up.
Magic the Gathering has always felt like that for me. Unless one of my sister's favorite things to do when we were, I guess, in high school is to like, oh, Trey, play Magic with me, please. I've even built you a deck. This deck is great. And I'd sit down there, and she would just play cards and cards. And then I'm like, well, I didn't do anything. How does that work? And she's like, well, you should have done this, and you should have done this, and you should have done this. And I'm like, how am I supposed to know any of that?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you've got 3 million cards in the shoebox.
And she also has the benefit of knowing your deck, because she built your deck. Yeah. And it's always been my problem. It's like, with Netrunner, it's like, you know all of the cards really well. On site, you know what that is. I have to read every single card to remember, okay, this does this and this, and I don't know how it combos with anything. And so, I'm playing stuff, and you know where I'm going before I even know where I'm going. And that's part of the reason I like Keyforge, is because it's so all over the place, and there's no deck building. It's just, you have this deck, and that's what it is. Yeah. And it's just because I just don't have the time or the money to invest in it.
I thought, like, Netrunner being... What did they call it?
They
didn't call it a collectible card game.
It's what's the term? It's a living card game or whatever.
I thought that
because everyone kind of gets the same cards. So you buy sets and whatever. And
I thought that Netrunner, like going away from the Magic the Gathering bit, where it's all about spending money on eBay to get the cards you need. Yeah. Versus like everyone's already got every card that's in the game. Yeah. Right. I thought that was like a way to fix it, but it really is. It still is, because so much of it's just experience.
Yeah, because I came in like a year and a half late.
And if you like the game, you can continue to play it and get that experience. But it is really discouraging to walk in against the pros from Dover.
Yes. Yeah. It's like it's almost a knowledge-based thing, and that's one thing. Gary is exceptional at learning card games and knowing all these combos and knowing how each faction plays, and that's part. He's just really good at these kind of games, and I enjoy them, but I don't have the time to invest into learning all of this stuff, and my memory is terrible, so I'm not going to remember most. I'll learn it for a while, and then give me a month or so, and it's fallen out of my head, and I have to refresh myself. So, that's part of the reason I really enjoy Keyforge, because, everyone gets their deck, and the basic mechanics, and then you just go, all right, and you can go through and learn that deck, and you just know that deck really well, you're fine. It may not be a great deck, but, so it's really fun to go into a tournament where you just, everyone got a fresh new deck, no one has any idea what's in there other than just looking through and going, and I think kind of fixes some of those issues, but I
have So Cater picked up a board game or a card game the other night. It's called the Minecraft card game.
Yeah,
we haven't
Cater's
played
your
it
kid,
yet.
right?
Yeah, Cater's my 9-year-old son.
Yeah.
So we were at the library, and they have, I don't know if you've been in there recently.
I haven't been there in a while.
Nacogdoches Community Library. They have a big glass case full of board games. And he saw that they had a Minecraft card game, so we're going to play that this week at some point.
I didn't know that.
They have somebody on staff who is very into board games because they've got some interesting ones in there that
Really?
would not normally be...
Like, it's not like Catan and Monopoly or stuff like that.
They got
like
two rooms and a boom.
They have 2 rooms and a boom?
Yeah.
We're missing our copy of 2 Rooms and Boom. And maybe that guy stole them. Well,
Probably.
Dudley was trying to. We had a whole bunch of people at the house. We're like, we have enough people. We could play 2 Rooms and Boom.
Yeah.
And then we couldn't find our copy of it. So
I mean, they've got the Bang card game, they've got the Bang dice game,
Nice.
they've got and they've got like Blockus and Wits and Wagers and stuff like that. But they also have some much more like board games.
yeah.
As opposed to just another reskin of Star Wars Monopoly.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool. And
I need to go in there.
Shout
then.
out
I
to
haven't.
the Nacogdoches Public Library.
Yeah.
They do a lot of cool stuff.
That is cool. I haven't been in there in a long time. Speaking of Minecraft, I started playing Minecraft again this week. I haven't played in months, maybe a year or so, no longer. Whenever the last time I played with my cousins. But for whatever reason, I got that itch, and I was like, I'm going to update this. One of my friends mentioned it, and I was like, well, I haven't played Minecraft in a long time. So I went and updated it. Took a little bit, but not too bad because it's Minecraft. 200 megs or something, I think, for an update. And
So what
I got in it, and I was like, yep, still Minecraft. And I started building stuff, and I rode a horse, which I had not done. Horses have been in the game since I last played it. I just didn't care, and I didn't touch them. I was like, but there was some, like, I had neighbor horses.
You're saying like I rode a horse for the first time. So when was the last time you played Minecraft?
I don't know. You're asking someone who doesn't have a good concept of time. So, like, it might have been a year ago. It may be 2.
Were llamas a thing last time you played?
No.
Were polar bears?
No.
I guess not. Were parrots?
No.
Scaffolding?
Scaffolding?
Yeah, they're scaffolding.
I did not know about scaffolding.
Scaffolding is actually really cool.
I'm going to tell you, you have blocks. You just plop dirt blocks down. There's your scaffolding.
Okay, all right. But imagine plopping dirt blocks down with extra functionality.
Like you can climb up the side of them or something?
Yeah, you can climb up the side of them, and when you're done with it, you break the bottom one, and they all
And the
fall.
whole thing? I need to make that. Yeah, I got in the game, and it like there's a menu for showing you what you can make, which is weird. I'm not used to that. I'm used to like having my second screen.
I think
which
you can turn that off if you want.
Well, that's fine.
Yeah.
I just had a browser open and I had a list of how to craft stuff when I needed it. So that's kind of nice. There's rabbits everywhere.
Rabbits are a thing.
I think I've played since there were rabbits, but I didn't play that much and didn't pay much attention to them. So I was just like, there are rabbits everywhere. At least where I am.
But like underwater fortresses we've seen.
Yeah, I've played since that. But I haven't actually done the underwater fortress, but I've seen them.
So sponge blocks.
Yeah.
Sponge blocks or
sponge blocks. Yeah, that's there's salmon. I've seen salmon. Yeah, I think they're salmon. They're these red fish in the water. I was like, what are those? Yeah, it startled me because I thought, did they add sharks or something? And I'm like, oh no, it's too small and red. So I assume they're salmon. But yeah, there was a horse nearby, so I was like, and I went into, there was 2 temples, like within line of sight of each other, and a village right there. I was like, okay. So I went into those, and I got a saddle and a bunch of armor, and I'm like, well, I guess I should try these out. And so I went and got a horse, and so I was riding around on the horse, which is nice and fast.
People don't ride horses anymore, though. They fly.
They fly?
Yeah, so
How do you fly?
You get the elytra wings, which if you go back to your character screen, there's a slot for the elytra.
Okay.
Which is a set of wings, and then it's a gliding mechanic, so you can like jump and glide.
Jumping.
But if you have fireworks, you can shoot fireworks,
launch
yourself up in the air, and then glide.
I'd not use fireworks.
Yeah, well, you couldn't use fireworks like this before.
Oh, okay.
Like used to, fireworks just went up and exploded
boom.
and were pretty.
Yeah.
Now you can.
I don't think I ever used them. I saw
you can wield the fireworks
and
use them to launch yourself.
Okay.
Before the fireworks thing,
this game's completely changed.
It really has. Before fireworks, the way people were launching themselves around was to get a bow and enchant it with knockback.
Yeah.
and then
So they could just
and shoot themselves.
Yeah.
You have to hit yourself.
How do you do that? Shoot up?
It wasn't like you had to aim slightly up, shoot it with the weakest power, and run. So
you're moving faster
as fast
than
as
them.
it is, and then it hits you, and then it knocks you into the air, and then you keep doing that until you're up in the air. So that's what I don't know. Elytras came out.
That's some advanced stuff.
2016 maybe 20.
Oh, so it may have been much longer than I thought since I last played.
You get Elytras. You can find them in the End, I guess.
Yeah.
Because there's End cities now and End ships.
Okay, I knew they had added stuff to the end, but I hadn't really seen what.
So and there's weird little box creatures that shoot things at you, and if they hit you, they make you float.
Huh.
And you have to use them sometimes. You can kind of use them to get up the towers into the city towers. But also, if like fall damage is a thing, so like if you go too high and it wears off, then you just fall.
You just fall into your death.
Yeah. And those creatures can be harvested and turned into boxes that can hold all of your boxes.
Okay.
So like infinite luggage.
Boxes for boxes?
Yeah. So you can load all your stuff up in them and then put them in your inventory. And so then you
I've been gone from Minecraft for a long time. I didn't realize. I thought, this is Minecraft. I know this, and I went in and I'm like, yep, just doing my normal Minecraft stuff. And now you're telling me all this stuff I didn't know about.
There is so much stuff going on. Redstone has changed significantly. It's much easier to make redstone smaller now. Like you used to have a whole lot of space if you wanted.
Really? Because the old way I used to build these crazy things, like I want to make a little hidden door, and it takes up a whole room just to wire up the thing to do it.
Yeah. No, redstone's gotten a lot. I mean, you still need like room to run redstone powder.
Yeah.
But like bud switches and stuff like that have compacted significantly over the last several years. So.
Well, it sounds like I need to be playing Minecraft with you, so you can spread the knowledge. I've been super tempted for a long time to get it on the Switch, because then I can just play it on there. Yeah. But it's one of those things. It's like I already own it on PC. Like what? But it's also portability.
You're never gonna have like the mod capabilities on the Switch that you have on the
PC.
But then again, you got the portability.
I there for a long time I got really into and sometimes when I think about Minecraft I get confused because I think, well, this was already a thing, but then I realized no, that was a mod that I played. And because there for a while, once Dudley and I got burned out on vanilla Minecraft, we just like dove into all the crazy mods for a while.
Well, because Minecraft over time just started acquiring all these mods, and so there's a really popular PvP mod based around the concept of the Hunger Games.
Oh yeah.
So basically, everyone pops up in an arena, and there's all these weapons in the middle, and you rush to get them, and then the timer goes off, and then you can actually start shooting people.
Yeah.
Well, the console versions, so the Switch and PlayStation and Xbox and all that, have that game built into the main menu, so it's like separate from you don't play that in your little world or in someone else's world but you can go, and they have like PvP arena based on the Hunger Games mod, and they have Elytra racing, so you go through these crazy insane fast corridors, gliding as fast as humanly possible, trying to dodge stalactites and like go through hoops and stuff like that, and race to the end to be the first person at the end. So they've got these, and it's all like match made. So it just calls up other people that are also like hanging out,
like a normal game.
Yeah. So I mean, you still have to like invite people to your server space, if you want to play with them there. But if you want to just get into a PvP game,
you can just jump in. Yeah. We used to play on back with our buddy Seth. We got really into there's a server called Shotbow, and the Shotbow Network, and they have all kinds of little mod games and stuff, and it's this server, and they actually have their own launcher and everything now, I think. But they do a lot of cool stuff because one of the things they used to do, and they haven't in a while, and they keep talking about maybe bringing it back, was called hardcore factions, and we've talked about it on the show, but basically you can build these like guilds or factions, and then you can buy plots of land. And it's on this huge map, and you can buy plots of land, and it, basically you got to build it up and have like your own little fortress. But as long as there's no way for people to get in, you're relatively safe. And so you want to build up kind of your area and build up your own little faction. But if there's any kind of holes in your defenses, or if you go out and you get killed, depending on how many people are in your factions, it's like there's a certain ratio that if you get enough of your people get killed so many times, you become raidable. And then suddenly people can break your blocks and get in. And so there was a kind of a cool mechanic of, your isolationism, where you're like, you bought a plot, go out somewhere, get a space, buy a plot, and try to build it up as quickly as possible and keep everything kind of enclosed so they can't get in. And because there are people just wandering around with, who are way more powerful and higher levels and stuff, and they're trying to like find holes in your defenses to break in and steal your stuff and kill you. And so you're like walking around, there's some suspense of it's like, oh, there's this dude standing there, and then you're like freaking out. Someone broke into your house, or it's like me, Dudley, and Seth, and I think his brother and cousin or something would play with us, and like, guys, I just got killed, and you're like, oh no. He's like, I went out for wood and I got killed. And we're like, oh crap. And there was a lot of cool stuff, but it's not running right now. And they stopped running it for a while, and I don't know if they just something about the server. They were trying to work on a new version, and so we talked about he was in a couple of weeks ago, and we were like, they need to do that again. So and then we were just like, we should just find something like that to play, just so we have something to hang out and do some stupid stuff together.
Minecraft is good for that.
It's great for that.
Are you familiar with? I'm going to completely blank on this YouTuber's name, but I think he's Irish. He's got that voice.
Oh yeah.
The voice of the Irish.
Uh-huh.
But have you seen someone playing City Skylines and they make a giant volcano and pour all of the refuse into it? Have you seen that?
I think I know who you're talking about. I don't know his name.
They built this entire city, and then they terraformed this giant vat of human waste.
Yeah.
Basically, they just put sewage treatment plants all the way around the side of it, and it's just pouring sewage into this vat, and it gets higher and higher and higher and higher, and then it just overflows.
Yeah, because it's gonna fill up.
Okay, all right. So that guy, right? He also like runs weird little Minecraft servers.
Okay.
Where like he invites a bunch of people, and it's kind of just anarchy.
Yeah.
And he's running around. He has a vague theme. Like, oh, we're gonna build a Fallout vault or something like that, and people just start building stuff, and stuff gets weird.
Yeah, I'm always impressed with stuff people build in that game.
And I'm pretty sure this was another guy. I don't know. I watch a lot of YouTubers with British sounding British Isles voices that I don't maybe necessarily know exactly where they're coming from. But I think it was this guy who said, okay, we're going to do a social engineering experiment here. He's like, I'm not going to post any rules. I'm just going to, at random, pick someone on the server and ban them, and then announce that I banned them. And we'll just see what happens. And so, like, every 5 minutes, he would just ban somebody. And then the chat was going nuts. Like, what did that person do? And so people were like...
Like, was he randomly banning, or did he actually have rules that he was, like, secret rules that he was doing?
No,
because it seems like if you're just banning arbitrarily, they'd like, well...
randomly banning... sometimes... I mean, it would be... At first, it was just, I'm just going to pick a number out of a hat. But then later, he would be like, okay, I'm going to go to this corner of the map, I hide behind this tree, and the first person I see, I'm banning them. And
this sounds
the chat
fantastic.
was going nuts. He's like, all right, I'm gonna leave for like a few hours and come back, and we'll see if this is turned into the hellscape that my servers usually turn into. And it hadn't. People had been really good. Because he was just, they weren't sure why people were getting banned. He would announce, so-and-so, I have banned so-and-so, for not following the rules. Or whatever.
But no one knows what the rules are.
Which that's that's interesting. I think that was a really fascinating glimpse into like how the human mind works. It's like something's happening here.
There are rules. I mean, you know what the rules are.
So he came back and
like that.
people, stuff had been built up and people were playing, and stuff had been moved around. But he's like, usually everything's lava at this point.
Yeah, because people, you people go nuts. I don't go too crazy with the destroying things, but I go crazy into anyone who's been on a Minecraft server with me knows that usually somewhere off out of sight, I've built some kind of structure, whether it's just like black tower out of obsidian or some weird thing built in building portals and stuff. And then I also usually have a tunnel to everyone else's place. Like, I have hidden tunnels that get me anywhere in the map. And so usually at some point, somebody stumbles onto, they're expanding their house or whatever they made, and they run into a tunnel. And they're like, what is this? And yeah, and then they go up and they're like, this connects to this thing, and this connects to Dudley's place, and this connects to like there's a tunnel, a network that because I'm just secretly sneaking around doing weird things like that. I know one time we played on someone's real server, and it was just kind of a creative build, do what you want kind of thing. But he had like the city, which was like already kind of built out, and it was like, hey, you can have little plots inside here if you want. It had like kind of a dome thing around it, but this is really the only area that. And I just literally, and because he had it set the server setting on a certain way, there was a certain view distance, so that wasn't rendering and bogging down his server. And so I went just outside of that view distance and built this huge tower on a hill covered in red roses. It's kind of a weird dark tower. I was reading the books at the time, I think, and so I was like, I built this huge dark tower with like roses everywhere. And there was we couldn't just destroy anything, so I put a metal door on it, so only certain people, if it was open, they could get in. And then I built at the time, there was a weird bug where if you had nether portal built within close to another nether portal, you can go through it, and then when you come back out, you come out with the first one. So I had a portal inside my base that let me get back into town, basically. So I could just go into it, go back through it, and I would pop back out in town. So I could just teleport myself back into town. And it went unnoticed for entirely too long, even though it just outside of town, but it was just outside of the viewing distance. And so the guy walked out and was like, whoa! And the guy who owns the server walked out and was like, whoa, who did this? And I'm just like, nope, not talking. I just keep going and just ignore it. Like, they're like, whoa, what is this thing? And like, I love weird little surprises where people are like right under their noses, and that I get weird enjoyments out of that kind of thing. But
I've been watching my son play Super Smash Ultimate.
Yeah, yes, you ain't really getting into it.
So into it.
Yeah,
it's what he wanted.
I can guarantee he's better than me.
It's what he wanted for his birthday, and he thought that, and this was like tragic to watch unfold. He knew that his aunt was buying him the Switch game.
Yeah.
And he decided that he knew that she was buying Smash.
Oh, okay.
And he got it in his heart that she was buying Smash. It turns out she actually bought him Pokemon Let's Go.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Eevee, which he also wanted.
Yeah.
But he had
I want it. I don't want it.
He had his heart
It's
set
not
on
for me, but
Smash.
yeah.
And so, like even though he got something he did want,
it wasn't what he really thought.
Slight tear, not actual tear, but
yeah,
like this is.
You could tell he was a little like,
a little deflated,
in the way a 9-year-old can be.
So that was last summer. And then I guess I don't know, a couple months ago he saved up his money and bought Smash for himself.
Yeah.
So that was kind of cool that he spent his own money on it.
Yeah,
and
there you
he's
go.
been playing the mess out of Smash, and he yesterday. He came and got me so I could witness it. I've been watching over his shoulder, but he beat the World of Light.
Yeah.
Which is apparently makes a lot of adults cry, because when we were at your brother's party, all the people there who have Switches were like, yeah, I cheesed it to unlock everybody. I'm not messing with that World of Light playthrough.
Actually, I played it. In fact, I played more of that than anything else, but I haven't beat it. And it's just, I don't know. I like those games.
It's an intense series. It's like the final fights.
Yeah.
Like all of the little fights that you're doing, like in my mind, when I think of Smash, I think of party game.
Yeah.
Right? 4 people, 10 people, everyone
exactly.
out
That's
in a bracket
to me.
mode.
Yeah.
And like I have played this game exactly twice with my son, and we played versus. And every other time it's just been him against whatever the computer's throwing at him. But it's fascinating because I'll sit there and watch it with him, he's like they have done really, really clever computer matches.
Yeah.
Like there's this one where it's just like this infinite wave of Yoshis.
Yeah.
Like
and they did stuff like that in the previous one, but this one they take it to a whole new level because each fight has a theme, and it's usually some kind of Nintendo game theme, even if like characters who aren't even in the game. But then they'll take the characters that are in the game and either give them some kind of like make them metal or do give them some weird thing or throw a million of them at you, and it somehow matches up with whatever that theme is. And it's always really clever and really fun, and that's part of the reason I enjoyed playing those, but it usually got to a point where it's like, I got annoyed because I didn't have any of the characters I really like playing, and I was having to play with characters I don't normally play with to beat some fights that were hard, and then it just became like a lot of things. I went on to other games, and
his triple threat is Kirby.
Yeah, that's Dudley's.
Samus.
Dudley. That's all Dudley plays.
Kirby, Samus, and his Mii character.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
His Wii Mii or whatever.
Yeah.
That's what he beat the game with. And usually Kirby, but then he's got the other two in...
Dudley plays nothing but Kirby. Yeah. That's all he'll play.
Would play nothing but Kirby.
Yeah. So him and Dudley can fight as Kirby which gets annoying because sometimes we'll get into being a party game setting and we're like, all right, like everyone plays this character. Yeah, everyone plays this character, and we all play that character. And Dudley's like, nope, Kirby. I'm like, no, come on, man, play with get into the game with everyone else and play
Fox,
like something.
Final Destination, no items, Dudley.
Yes, exactly. It's like, come on, man, and he sometimes straight up refuses it. He will not play anything other than Kirby.
He's a scrub.
I know, and I'm like, and I bounce around, but like my main, since the new one came, like I stopped playing Bowser because the last version he was so slow he was not playable. And the new one they fixed that, so he's a lot better, and I can play him. So Bowser I like. I used to play Samus a lot, but Ness is probably my go-to right now. I love Ness, and nothing more satisfying as Ness than doing the little mind ball thing and hitting yourself into someone because it does a huge amount of damage and sends them flying, and it's hard to pull off, but it's so satisfying. And but I like Ness a lot, and he's got that baseball bat and all kinds of fun stuff. So I really like him. He's probably if I were going to pick one to be my main, that would be him. And then, even though I've never played hardly any of the Earthbound games.
Well, the final boss, I played through Earthbound.
Yeah.
I've gotten about halfway through Earthbound.
Yeah.
But the final bosses
played a little
Smash,
bit of it.
There's this big, like, dark entity with tentacles and a giant eyeball called Darkon, and there's this weird, like, phoenix-like entity made of, like, light and energy called Galene or something like that.
Okay.
And they're, like, fighting each other using, like, the light energy and the dark energy of all these Nintendo characters that they possessed.
Yeah.
And, like, throwing them at each other. And so you are on this platform, and these two uber boss entities are throwing their henchmen, which are
other
like
characters,
boss characters.
Boss character.
Right,
oh, okay.
They're like throwing. One of them's got Ganon. One of them's got Bowser.
Yeah.
All of these uber henchmen characters they're throwing at each other, and like they're fighting and they're ignoring you. And you got to jump up and interact with one of them. Whichever one you hit, you go into a boss fight versus that one.
Oh, okay. I know there's tons of cool little mechanics in this one, and I need to go back and play it.
When you get to the end, you can decide which one you want to fight as the final boss.
Yeah.
Or you can fight both of them.
Uh-huh.
And which is twice as hard.
Yeah, because you're fighting
both trying to kill you.
Yeah.
And so Cater absolutely refused to do one or the other.
He's like, no, I'm going to beat
the good ending.
Yeah, exactly.
Getting the good ending.
Exactly. So, I want the one that's really hard to do.
So it's taken him several weeks, and he'd get in there, and he'd get so close, and their health bars would be down to nothing, and then like he would just get squished, and then he'd get all. This is the same thing I do when I beating my head up against the level that I can't beat or whatever. He just like switches everything off and goes and like has a little cooldown somewhere else. And
I shout curses and like
we're both
screaming
like,
and that's really
we
funny.
get frustrated, but then we're like, well, yelling isn't gonna stop it. So we just kind of go have a little alone time and then come back and try again later.
I've seen you angry before. I've known you for a long time. I'm not sure how long because I'm not good with time.
2011.
So 8 years, almost a decade, and I've seen you get frustrated, and I've seen you get pretty angry, but I've only seen you get yelling mad a couple of times. One of the times at me,
Yeah.
and
Sorry.
and that happens. I do that to people, but it's one of the things I was just like, Trey just got angry. Trey yelled, and I'm like, this is not something I ever see. I get angry and I shout at people sometimes. Not often, but I like to think I'm not much of an angry person. But I can get frustrated. But seeing you get angry, I was just like, I've done something terrible. So I can imagine, like, you when you get angry at a game, you're just like, okay, I'm gonna walk away, cool off. And
I mean, it's like I can't get angry at like a computer generated boss, right? It's like I don't for whatever reason my timing isn't good enough. My reaction isn't fast enough. Well, it's time to take a rest and get a snack and try again later.
Yeah,
that's
I kind of tried to adopt that kind of mentality. I used to get really as a kid, I was get furious at stuff and walk away and kick something or whatever. But now I'd like when I play a Dark Souls type game or something that's challenging in itself, and then I get really angry at them, or Hollow Knight, where I was getting really frustrated at some of these bosses, and then it annoys me because I'll take a break and I'll walk away and then go do something else and come back, first try beat it, and then just why did I have so much trouble before? And I don't know if it's just because I was getting frustrated or I'm not sure, but
it's a lot of, just like we were talking about the card games earlier. So the thinking back on any time I've gotten into multiplayer. So I got into multiplayer with StarCraft. And I remember playing through the single player missions and getting all the way through the story and having trouble with those single player missions, and then getting together at a LAN party with a bunch of people who played it and booting up and being getting completely steamrolled. I'm like, what in the world is going on here? And so then for a while I was going over to a friend of mine's house, and it was just the two of us, and we'd play play versus the computers. And eventually I started to get the reaction time and the alertness that you need to play those type of games, and then started to actually be a little competitive. But it took time and it took playing a lot. And then I went back and played the story mission again because I was really bored on a road trip, and I happened to have a laptop with me. And I happened to have the game. And so I loaded on the laptop and just played the single player
and you're on
this road trip, and I just smoked the computer.
It's weird.
It's nothing like
because
a human opponent.
It's strange how that works, because you think, the single player will prepare me to get me to the level that I can then play but it's so different. It's playing against other people, and I did the same thing playing StarCraft. It's I learned how to play the game going through the single player, and then I got into the multiplayer game. And what am I doing? I can't. They're so far ahead of me.
And Destiny 1 was like that. I really got into PvP in Destiny 1, and it's the same thing. It's you just assume
you need to learn
you have to decide that you're okay spending several weeks just dying constantly until you get the reaction and the map knowledge and the sort of understand how things work, and it's the same with those card games we were talking about. It's you have no clue what the deck is. You have to understand that you're gonna, just sit here and have no clue what you're doing. And you just have to keep playing and playing and playing until you do. And it's weird that, it's weird how games take that sort of commitment. To not die.
And I think I find it mostly just because it's a time issue, but it's the game has to really hook me to get, and it's just, maybe I just haven't found one. It's I find myself kind of wanting to get into a multiplayer game and something that we can play and I can enjoy spending time with my friends who don't live here anymore, but also do something together that that we're all enjoying. And I've been having trouble trying to find what that game is, just because I don't play a lot of multiplayer games, and then also all of them require a little bit of buy into to get practice. And that's why I think I went back to Minecraft. It's I know Minecraft to an extent, apparently not as much as I thought I did, because so much of it is they've added so much to it. But at the same time, it's just everyone get in, we all start building stuff, it'll be fine. I'm not sure. I think I want something new. I want something I can invest time into and get good at it and play with other people. I just don't know what that game is, and I think I've been kind of looking for that kind of thing. But I'm trying to think. We've been talking about just whatever. I've been playing Baba Is You. Have you seen this?
I have heard about that. Yeah, it's one of those, and I feel like I've seen a couple games like this where, like, you're presented with like a screen with some text on it and the ability to change the text, right?
And, you're not changing the text; you're changing the arrangement.
Yes,
like and the text are the rules of each level. So it's like, the one that's almost in every level, but it says Baba Is You, and Baba is this little bunny thing, and you're you, and so when Baba is you, you move the bunny around.
What's the game with the little orange fuzzball with eyes and a mouth and like little legs, and he's got like an acorn hat?
I'm not sure I know that one.
It feels similar.
Yeah.
And like the object is to move from like screen to screen, and there's weird little puzzles.
Yeah.
There's like this little critter that you can move around and have interact with things somehow. I don't know. They're very clever. There's a lot of independent games right now out that are kind of exploring
super clever.
This sort of meta gameplay.
Yeah.
Which is really fun.
It's really cool because it's like you usually when you play a game, it sets up the rules of the game and they teach you the rules, and then you play within those rules and you learn how to leverage all of them. And this game is set up as the rules of the game can change, and here's how. And then you start thinking of weird creative ways of how to do it. So, like in Baba Is You, is like, oh, well, all I have to do is like, the rock's over there, but it's like if I just push the word rock and it's like rock is you, and then suddenly I'm the rock over there moving. Or like I can take Baba is and put rock there, and suddenly Baba is a rock. And now I can't control him because that rock isn't me. And it gets weird. But it gets more and more complex because basically they just keep giving you new commands. And so, like, they add an and command so you can be, like, something and something. And then they add, like, swap, which is, like, basically you change places with something when it moves into. But certain things can swap with certain things, but not. And then, so I've been playing levels like that right now where it's like I can move into things and swap with them, but I'm trying to figure out how to leverage that ability to get to what I'm trying to do, because most of the levels it's just like you need to get to the flag and the flag is win, and it says flag is win. Well, sometimes it's like, oh, well, I just make rock win, and I just touch the rock and I win, and but it gets super meta. And it also just gets complex because you have all these abilities, like there'll be a door and the door is closed, and you have a key, the key is open, and so you got to use it. But just because you have most games you have the key, you go use the key on the door and it opens. The programming tells you that. That's how it works. This is like, okay, well, I don't have a key, but I got a rock. I can make rock open and push the rock into the door and the door opens. It gets super meta, and it's super heady, and sometimes I thought I was going to be like a lot of puzzle games I play. I just hit it, and I just keep playing until I solve all the puzzles. But it's been more casual than that. I pick it up, and I'll work on a level. And sometimes I go a while just working on the same couple of levels because I can't quite figure them out. And then, so it turned into I got a few minutes. I'm going to sit here, I'm going to just pull it up, and because it's portable, it's on my Switch, I just pick it up and play it for a little while and set it down. So I haven't played it in a couple of weeks, but I was sitting around and like, oh, this is something I can just jump into and work on for a little while. I don't feel like like Sekiro or something where it's like I need to invest a couple of hours to play to really make any progress. This is just like, oh, pick up, I'm going to stare at this puzzle for a while. I can't figure it out, I'll go look at another one. And it's got a little level selection thing, and you just bounce around to it.
There's a Tim Schafer game, and I'm not even sure if it got completely released.
Yeah.
Several years ago, where your little guy walking around in this little like RPG or story adventure style game. Yeah. Adventure. Had like a little thumb drive for a sword, and you could recode the game. Like you could plug in and code, like type in code to open doors or to change the pattern behavior.
I was just reading about,
enemies.
I don't know if it was that game, but there was something like that. And then there's a new game out called, what's it called? it's like file extension maniac or something like that. And it's like / maniac or something. But it's like a I don't know if it's some kind of a murder adventure. Like it's a mystery game, but you get into stuff by like opening the game files and changing them, and moving them from one folder to another, or deleting them or copying them or something like that.
As I understand it, the Tim Schafer one, like by the time you got leveled up, you could rewrite you literally
the whole game,
break the game, by rewriting it.
Yeah.
Like at first, it gives you like basic loop commands or whatever.
Yeah.
But by the end of it, you could actually pull up a console and see everything that was happening on the game right then, and edit any of it that you wanted to.
Yeah.
I didn't actually play it, but that was.
And this is a new. I think it's called Maniac or something like that. And
are you just games like Shenzhen IO.
Yes,
like those,
we talk about those from Zachtronic. Huge fan of Zachtronic. In fact, I think they've given us copies of their review copies of the game because we love them. And Dudley claims to be friends with Zach because he sent an email to him. He sent an email asking for a copy, and he responded. So he's like, "Now we're friends." And I told him that's not how that works, but he doesn't listen to me. Yes, I love, and it's weird because. I used to do programming stuff, and I work in IT, but, I do a little bit of programming stuff now. But I do more programming for fun in, Shenzhen IO.
Well, it probably actually keeps you pretty sharp.
It does. It makes you think in a way, and it scratches this weird puzzle-solving itch in my head that I really enjoy.
Have you solved a problem in a game like this that has actually helped you in your professional life?
I don't know if directly, but I know, the logic of it. And a lot of times I'm good at these games is because I used to do, JavaScript programming and, stuff like that. So I have a knowledge of it, so I understand how to write programming. So I start with a good base, and therefore I'm good at these games, and these games let me kind of work on these skills without having a real thing. Because I'm very much a hands-on person. Like, right now at work, I've been learning SQL programming. And really, I did the basic, okay, here's the basics of SQL, but until I have something to work on, I don't know what to do with it.
Right.
And games are awesome that way because, it'll give me a puzzle. It's like, okay, you need to achieve this goal, and here's the tools you have to do it, figure it out. And I have something to work towards. So, until I have, at work, I do the same thing with SQL, is that I need to pull this set of data. Well, they're in these tables, I know all these commands, how to do this, and I start figuring it out. And it's the same thing in these programming games. It's here are your commands, here's your rules, and here's the problem you have to solve. And I really work on it, and it's satisfying to find the solution. And I do the same thing in real life. It's I'm working on, I need to achieve this goal, and here's the tools I have to do it, and I do it. And I think that's part of the reason I'm good at my job, is that it's all problem solving. And I've been playing video games my whole life, which is, to some extent, problem solving.
Right.
And it's all you have a problem, whether it's I need to open a blue door and I need a blue key to figure it out. I've been doing that, my entire life. And it's a lot of fun. I could talk about this for another hour.
Yeah, we could.
But... it looks like we're running out of time.
Yeah.
We didn't get to the news, sadly. Oh, that's just...
Well, the only news that we have, let's see, Peter Mayhew.
Yeah, Peter Mayhew died.
I met him at a wedding.
Yeah.
He is a family friend of a family friend.
Yeah, he lives in Texas.
Yeah, he lives up in the Dallas metro area. Anyway, so a girl I grew up with married his godson.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah. So I met him at their wedding, and that was fascinating.
I know he came to town once, but I didn't get a chance to meet him.
I know I think he was planning to be at the big fan expo in Dallas.
Oh yeah,
I know they had workers who were cosplaying and going and really excited about meeting.
Yeah, he had.
Peter Mayhew,
they made his panel into a. Not his panel, but his booth into a little memorial. It was really nice. Yeah, I was sad to hear about that. And then everyone talking about the Sonic thing, which it looks terrible. I don't know if you saw it.
Yeah.
He doesn't look like Sonic. He looks like a dude cosplaying as
dressed up
a
as
weird
Sonic. The weird thing to me, and everyone gets focused on the eyes.
Yes.
But here's the weird thing.
The body bothers me.
It is the body.
The body bothers me a lot.
A hedgehog, the spikes on a hedgehog back, the spikes on a hedgehog's back
Yeah.
are like a single spike,
Yeah.
not a fleshy nub covered with hair.
Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah.
that's very strange.
Yeah, and like just his like overall body, he doesn't look like that's his body. He looks like someone who's wearing a Sonic skin, like a pajamas. Because the way like the crotch shape and everything, he looks like he's wearing a blue Sonic colored pajamas, and that's the part that bothers me. Like the eyes, yes, the mouth, weird, okay, but. That's the part that really bothers. It doesn't look like Sonic. It looks like someone wearing Sonic skin.
and now they're going to go back and crunch time to fix it. And I really think they should have just doubled down.
You think so?
This is the Sonic.
This is Sonic. You deal with it.
Yeah.
And then no one would go see it.
That's fine. No one's going to go see this anyway.
Yeah, it's probably not going to do well.
Jim Carrey, though.
I've seen Jim Carrey in just about anything, but he looks.
Jim Carrey can literally do anything he wants.
Yeah, he can.
And yet here he is playing.
He can do whatever he wants.
Strange.
And he's
Sonic
playing
movie.
Dr. Robotnik.
Who doesn't actually get bald and the crazy mustache until the end, I guess?
I guess.
I don't know.
Or maybe right at the beginning. I don't know. He turns into that because.
Strange decisions have been
It's
made
really
at this
strange,
point.
and then the fact that they revealed that in the trailer.
Yeah.
It's strange choices all around. I don't know who's making these decisions, but they're weird.
And so Sonic and Dr. Robotnik are both aliens now?
Yeah,
Is that
apparently.
how this works?
That's what, because he says he's an alien. I'm like, I guess. Why are y'all trying to put some logic on this? Just roll with it, man.
Hollywood really needs to try and just needs to stop trying to pander to my childhood. They just need to stop.
Well, I mean, you're the demographic, right? You and we're the age
I'm about to age out of it.
Yeah,
I can't wait. I cannot wait to age out of it.
Yeah, I'm ready. I want them to
39.
stop making movies for me.
I'm about to hit 40, and I can't wait.
I'm going to be in it for a while. So
out of the demographic of marketing nostalgia. I want to hit that about Schmidt marketing. I want to be the retired old man who has one movie a year made for him.
Oh, yes, the bucket list. Oh, that looks good.
Oh, yeah, I'll see that.
I'll see that. That looks good.
I don't know. Did you see the bucket's eyes?
You don't want to think about this is ruining my fandom when you see a movie trailer.
Yeah.
You just want to go, is this for me? Nope. And then go on. Yeah. And then every once in a while you're like, I would like to see this.
I do wonder what my kid's going to have pandered to him when he's 35. It's going to be Minecraft.
It's going to be Minecraft. It's going to be, I don't know.
It's like Steve's eyes.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, no, he's not blocky enough. They made him round. No, he turns into a block at the end of the movie.
Yeah, they make the Minecraft movie and there are no right angles in it.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
we wanted to bring it up and smooth everything out. That's what the director's going to say. All right, well, I don't know what they were doing anymore. Please go to our website at my website, not yours, but you can claim it if you want to.
It's my website.
deafandumb.com. It's DEAFNDUMB.com. Why don't? Yeah, I know why. But, it'd be nice if we could put ampersands in a URL. I understand it's a programming thing. It won't work.
Well.
Yeah. It's a programming thing. I get it. I understand that. As someone who works in this...
Ampersand EC?
Yeah.
Is that the code for ampersand?
Yeah, but it doesn't work
the
in a URL.
is right there.
Yeah, but it doesn't work in URLs.
It doesn't?
No.
I see them in strings sometimes.
No.
No? Am I just imagining that?
And it's that's just the thing.
Okay.
Please subscribe and follow. And Dudley's listening and going, "What are you doing? This is not how we work this show."
Are you guys on Instagram?
Yes, we are on Instagram.
Okay. What's your Instagram at?
I think it's Deaf and Dumb Podcast.
How about Twitter? Are you on Twitter?
Yeah. Dudley. Yeah. It's Deaf and Dumb Podcast.
Do you get email?
Yes. I think it's question at Deaf and Dumb. It's on our website. There's a link to it. I can never remember what it might be. Ask Deaf and Dumb at Gmail, something like that.
All right, it's time to close up the old plug bag.
No, that's a different show. That is not ours.
Talk about bags and bags. Talk about opening bags.
Thank you very much for listening. I'm Dan May.
And I'm Dudley May, and this has been Deaf and Dumb.